Hello and welcome to this presentation by Christy Valentine. We're going to do a SWOT analysis of our organization. And here's a brief overview. Our organization is a large suburban elementary school. We serve 500 students from pre-K to fifth grade, and our written goals are as follows: to inspire, to close learning gaps, and to holistically impact our learners. Our two key strategies to achieving our holistic initiatives are to, number one, become School of Lunch SOL certified to gain transformational food and nutrition training, and number two, to increase access to movement for both the staff and the students. This includes increased movement breaks inside and outside of the classroom, and double the amount of playground time or gym and movement time. Okay, so jumping into the SWOT diagram, let's first look at the strengths. We have highly skilled and motivated team members, 100% certified teachers. We have the highest STAR scores in the district for ELAR. We have a professional development partnership with Baylor University and a one-to-one iPad program for every student. We have engaged parent, student, and teacher community with easy communication options. Let's look at the weaknesses. There is a relatively high teacher turnover rate. There are staffing shortages. There's budget limitations, overcrowding, things like that. Okay, we have opportunities, market culture trending towards a more holistic, conscious, holistically minded society. We're seeing that lately. Advanced opportunities to partner with new holistic school programs, such as the SOL School of Lunch program. There are favorable government policies, which they have recently introduced the new inverted food pyramid in January of 2026. And there is a shift in government policies towards less sugar, less processed foods. And there is an emerging need for a holistic approach. It is greater now due to the increased amount of behavioral challenges that we're seeing. There's teacher burnout, there's neurodivergence and learning gaps, all of these complex problems that we're seeing. We need a holistic approach to address these. And then look at the threats. There is a potential cultural threat of the Southern tradition that runs very deep, of sugar and sweets and cupcakes. It's just part of the culture here. We have economic threat of high cost of healthy foods and a high cost of holistic classroom design. It is not a cheap thing to get healthy food, and it's not cheap to get those alternative seatings and fancy indoor gyms and all of these different things. It's not an easy thing to get your hands on. You need a good budget to be able to do this. There is intense outside pressure to always do what we've always done. There's a resistance to change. There's going to be pushback. And then there's the potential pushback or from the district and state level opposition that we might see. What patterns emerged through the SWOT? I found that it was easier and faster to come up with the positive strengths and opportunities than it was to come up with the weaknesses and threats. And while that's good to have a positive outlook, I realized that a consistent pattern of overlooking or underestimating our weaknesses and possible threats could be costly in the long run. I need to be more optimistic, but also be mindful and prepare for things that could go wrong or hinder the goals. Having said that, it was clear that the good did outweigh the bad in both the number and substance concerning moving forward with this healthy and holistic initiative. Did you see something that's happening internally that is aligned to what is happening externally? Yes. I noticed that a majority of the negative factors, both internally and externally, seem to be primarily rooted in economic or budgeting issues. Therefore, solving the financial dilemma needs to be an important priority focus. Is there data in your SWOT that contradicts itself? Yes. The highly skilled and motivated team members and engaged teachers presents a positive employee image, but the high teacher turnover rate presents a negative one. Both can be true at the same time. Our healthy initiatives will also help to fight the high teacher turnover by combating the overall student and teacher stress, which would alleviate behavioral issues and promote overall well-being. What are my suggestions for moving forward and my areas of focus? I'm going to focus on these three things. First, we should create a task force to solve the financial issues. We need to bring in an expert, whether that's somebody from the district or somebody outside the district that's approved. We need a financial expert in this task. We need to reach out for grants and partnerships with the state and local boosters and foundations. Next, we need to create stakeholder buy-in for the vision. We need to continuously showcase that it can be done by highlighting what other schools have done, who have holistically transformed their schools with exciting results. We could definitely put these things on display through emails, through putting it up on big screens first thing in the meetings. We need to get everybody on board and show them what the possibilities are when you change the school holistically. We need to keep it simple and keep it focused. More movement and healthier nutrition. There are hundreds of different holistic approaches that we could take, but our focus will be to get these two heavy hitters done well. And here's my scholarly support. A study on classrooms of children aged 3 to 6 years old assessed whether light and moderate to vigorous physical exercise during language learning lessons affected their cognitive abilities and their learning outcomes. They found that physically active learning appears as an effective strategy for enhancing foreign language vocabulary, cognitive performance, and physical fitness in preschool children. Increasing the physical activity intensity also seems to maximize these benefits. High school teachers reported an increase in student engagement and overall student well-being following the Burn to Learn cluster randomized controlled trial of integrating high-intensity physical activity into the lesson plans. And a study was conducted in Dutch primary schools that concluded that a school's provision of healthy lunch positively influenced the children's dietary intake at school without triggering unhealthy compensation at home, and found that the most significant improvements were in the increase of vegetable intake and reductions of the sugary drinks. Here are my references, and thank you for listening to this presentation.